Hey guys, how's it going? It is August 13th, 6:44 p.m. Back on for another end of a weekend episode of I don't know what, whatever you want to call this. Um, so hey, I got a new banner that I made. It's kind of nice actually. So I finally updated the homepage and I was showing a lot of stuff about California, which we don't even have. So that's it. That is the new banner that you're going to be seeing on the YouTubes, probably for most stuff. I didn't really know what the hell to put on the homepage at this point. I could have put some Florida pictures. Probably should have, because this does support the Florida server as well. As well as Smiley, who's got Selkirk, or anybody else for that matter. I mean, I support all the servers that are out there, whether you're RTS or you're not. It doesn't matter to me. Not at this point, anyways. So yeah, another weekend, another, fun weekend as usual. I got into some really strange stuff with my son. Spent Saturday. I'll just go over this real quickly. I mean, I was really loading up. I found. What did I find this weekend? Oh yeah. So I got the Epic Game Launcher, which, for those of you not familiar with that, leads over to the Unreal Engine 4. So I did get it. And boy, did we waste a lot of time on Saturday and really didn't get far. But, kids have amazing dreams and imagination, and I hate telling them that they can't do something, or that something's going to be tough, or I hate doing that, because they're the ones that are the big dreamers. They're the ones that don't see the potential time something takes, or they'll find a way. So they don't use excuses. Well, they use excuses, don't get me wrong. Kids use all kinds of excuses. But when it's something that they really want, forget it. They'll make it. They'll do whatever it takes to make it happen. As long as they're having fun. So we went into the Unreal Engine and we started screwing around with it, and I mean, it's beyond, to try to get things to do. I mean, I'm sure it works real well, and it works. I mean, I've seen some incredible games come out under the Unreal Engine 4, and it's totally free, which is appealing, because now I'm like, okay, what can I do with it? Can I even hazard a guess, or a hazard of an opportunity? And I started thinking about, as far as what I was doing with, in regards to the RTS site, or what I'm doing to RTS. Now, regardless of what is with these ads now lately, skip ad in 6 seconds. So okay, where do I skip it? I don't know if you guys are getting this, or I can't even skip the damn ad. Ah, that is annoying. I assume this is a new Wikia thing, which really bothers the hell out of me, because Fido, get lost. That's annoying. I used to have a pop-up blocker, but yeah, close. Get the hell out of here. Apologize for that, guys. I guess they're running short on funds these days. I guess they got to pay the bills. So, bad enough they got advertising stickered all over the damn place. They got to throw it all over the place. Oh. I don't think I have a. I thought I used to have a pop-up blocker on, but apparently I don't. So, anyways, now what was I saying? Hopefully that'll stop. I went back into it just to show something, as much as there's only 2 banners, but that's about it. Um, one thing that I've had to come to, and I went for a little bit of a walk earlier this afternoon, which was planned. Everything was more or less planned. I went through my YouTube stuff. I got caught up in all the recent events, so I really got to myself to the point where, okay, now I had a decision to make. Do I find more things to avoid programming, or do I just go ahead and start doing it again? And I thought about it while I was out. I said, yeah, I can just focus on the small things. And I told my son this, and this is where it relates to our conversation. He's he's like, well, we can do this and we can do that and we can do that. I'm like, yeah, okay, we can do this. And I says, who's going to program all that? I can't even program RTS2, which is relatively simple in comparison. It's not that hard to program this, believe it or not. I'm actually dealing with the most difficult part, and that is getting the surveys done. And late last week, I think I finally got to a point where I feel relatively comfortable, and now I want to test it and see. And that's what I'm going to do tonight. So I'm going to go through that. I'm going to work on an output routine just to test. I'm not going to go through the waybills and all that other stuff and look through all the different code. I'm just going to test it and see if my theories are correct in regards to some of the stuff that I was doing last week, and that was, can I skip various block sections provided that the train is still on the same tangent. Now, I'm not 100% sure on that one. I got a funny feeling now that I think about it, I can't. The more I think about it, I can't. And see, I'm thinking as long right now you're basically going through my thought process, because I thought, well, yeah, I can do it, and then I just realized something. I said, okay, well, if it's on a tangent, that's great, but what's it going to do when suddenly it's on a different track section and it's way the hell over there? So I got a funny feeling it ain't gonna work. I'm usually an optimist, but I got a funny feeling it ain't gonna work, especially not on the curves. Maybe once I got a straight section in between, it'll work. But if it's involving too much small blocks on curves, I'm gonna have a hard time. But I got a funny feeling the curves may work. That makes sense. I think those small blocks, as I've said before, are grades. I don't think grades are going to cause an issue. If you're wondering what the hell am I talking about, it's the length of the blocks are too small. They are hard to discover. We don't have an automated way of doing it any longer, so we have to go through the surveys and do it. So I'm going to take my best guesses at where things are and then try to skip the sections that I don't have to, and then see how far I can go. If I'm on a straightaway section, I'm going to try a few things. If it doesn't work and it fails, then I'm going to try something different. And I'll keep on trying it until we've got at least a successful prototype test. Then I'll move on to trying different scenarios and see how that works. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I don't want to spend too much time surveying. I may deal only specifically with Selkirk Mohawk for now, since that was the route that I was dealing with. That was the last route that I was personally dealing with. I want to get Selkirk Mohawk is going to be my test basin for everything. I don't want to get into California. I don't want to get into Florida. That's going to be up to other people to do. And my focus is going to be, yes, I'm going to get it functional. Selkirk Mohawk will become the test bed. Since nobody's on the server anyways, with the exception, of another person, I'm probably going to be the one testing this, making sure that everything works the way I want it. then I'll be able to dispatch it. I'll be able to do everything that I need to do to tweak this program and get it to a comfortable level. So, but anyways, what I was saying before that, we were looking at the Unreal Engine 4. Like I said, we didn't get very far, and I said, we were brainstorming some ideas, and of course he had bigger ideas, and I said, well, yeah, you can do that, but I said, why don't we deal with something simple? And I said, I said, if you want to do something trains, I said, I have an idea. And he was excited to hear about it. And he said, what? And I says, well, you like going to Fostoria and F-Tower. And I said, I used to dispatch it in Train Dispatcher 3, and there used to be a program called Tower. Like it was like I don't know, some tower simulator or something that was supposed to expand. I remember buying the damn thing, and it was ridiculous for what I paid for it and what we really got out of it. Which, I mean, the repeat playability in it was about as much as, a typical weekend for my son and I. We would have got bored in that in no time. But I said no. I says, F Tower's now gone. It's it was one of the last remaining manned operations in Fostoria, Ohio, and I thought, wouldn't it be cool to have a really cool looking 3D environment? I don't have to worry about the physics and everything. Yes, I would want to have the models look relatively half decent, or even have it so that people can add user contributed models, which is even better. I could care less how many people want to add models or add cars or whatever. It wouldn't have mattered. The whole point of that was going to be, I'm going to program in something that's going to represent Fostoria, Ohio. And if they want to improve some of the buildings, if they want to improve some of the artwork, if they want to do this and that, they can mod it. They can do whatever they want, but I'll have the code and the environment and all that other stuff, and boom, there we go. And it'll run it can run anywhere along the 24/7 clock. Maybe even have different weather. It says, because I think it can handle different weather and all kinds of things. It can handle atmospheric conditions. It can, it's got the wind. It's got all kinds of crazy things in that. Great lighting effects, great scenery, great eye candy. I thought, yeah, that'd be kind of cool. And I couldn't even get the damn sun to move the way I want. Eventually, I figured it out, but it took almost all day just to get the damn sun to move. I said, forget this. I ain't messing with this right now. I don't have time. I tried to get him into a simple 3D drawing program. He didn't want to do that. He just wanted to go right into the whole big shebang. All right, fine. At least Sunday, by the time Saturday night came around, we switched focus, and I ended up downloading a pinball. I downloaded this thing right here. This is called. I'll show it to you. This is really cool, actually. I'll show you this real quick. It's kind of cool. It's called Future Pinball. Not so future anymore, but you've got the different. This was a good one. Rolling Stones I played earlier today. Got different Ball Champ. Dead Hunters was cool. I like Dead Hunters, actually. I won't play. Rolling Stones was kind of cool. No, that thing was all screwed up, though. We just go with version 1.20. See what that's like. Here, I'll play a game. I'll play a game of pinball for you guys, and then we'll get to programming. Yeah, I know, I'm procrastinating again. But, But this is pretty cool. Because if you guys are into, like for me, I mean, this is where my mind is, and I know I'm not talking about Run 8 here, but trust me, I'm just going to play one game here, and then, I'll just go with that. But what happens is you walk into this room, the billboards change. It's kind of like your old arcade type thing. Why isn't this working? Oh, there we go. Okay. Does it have all our old scores too? Oh, it does too. I think it does. So this is really cool. I don't know what's with the sound. Yeah, I suck already. And believe me, I can do this all night, but I won't. I'll just show you guys this. It's pretty cool. Yeah, man. We were doing this until 1:30 this morning, believe it or not. Not this game. We were playing all kinds of games. Oh, crap. You can tilt the table, too. Oh, crap. So I can tab and I can look up and... I can watch this and go... I can shake it there? I can shake it. Oh, crap. Shaking that wouldn't have mattered. Okay, goody, goody, goody. I got a high score. Trust me, this is all I'm going to do. Well, I'll show you a few other tables, but then I won't play them. Gonna match? Match! Yeah, right. But the reason why I wanted to show you all this is you can build your own pool tables. And he was kind of excited about that because he really wants to get creative, right? Start building something. I thought, yeah, okay, well, you know. And I mean, these are ones that have been created from, you know, real machines, or, you know, some of them are real machines, some of them are brand new. I mean, there's some old ones in here too. Like, I mean, some of the years on these 19 Paintball Championship. Triple Strike I couldn't get going. Stadium Soccer sucks. Road Girls is probably not good content for me to play, but it was pretty good. We had fun with it. Power Play is pretty bad, but what's a good one? I want to show you a good one. Oh, okay. I want to do 3 Angels. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, I'll show you how good these get. I should have shown you. Is it gonna crash on me? I think it did. Great, did I lose my live stream? Oh no, I didn't. There we go. Here, I'll play one more.
A good time. Fate bring a tragic end to this place.
I'm alive. Hurt me. So hard.
Let me save so many times.
gifted man.
Bugger. I second this one.
Goodbye, brother. Goodbye.
Oh, goodbye. Okay, enough of that. So anyways. But you can build your own tables, is the whole point of all that. But, you know. I don't know if you guys saw that all. Sometimes it doesn't show up on the YouTube stream, but it's fun. So yeah, that was what... And to be honest, I could be going and I told him, I said, well, I said, do you really want to spend our entire weekends just learning a new thing? And just learning and learning and learning and learning and learning? I says, you're going to be going to school pretty soon learning. He says, yeah, but I don't learn anything in school, which is kind of true. To some extent. Schools dumb them down. But I said, okay. I said, but you want to have fun too. I said, I want to have fun. I said, but what I'll do, I said, if you're serious, I'll show you the programming of this RTS2. Now he's not here, of course. He's back at home, and I said next weekend I'll show it to you. He says, and maybe we'll do a live stream, and I'll show you some of the things, and we'll go through some of the basics. I said the program's not too big right now, so you should be able to understand it. And we'll walk through it. So if you guys are really new to programming and you wanna pinpoint, find out some stuff with that might be a good one. But let's deal with enough of this. Let's just get to work here. 7:07 already. Wow, time flies when you're okay. So, and this is another issue when you start going with memory, is trying to remember what the hell I did last. So what we want to do is we want to get into doing a test output. Now there's a few ways I can do this. Eventually I want to get into loading the files. There'll be various data files that come with it. Now I can look at the RTS1 code, and I kind of should, but it's changed, and I still haven't got updated code back from my downloads. Actually, if I was to go in, I probably could find it right now. It's probably in here, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. So this should be the file right here for the survey. So I didn't want to get to I didn't want to go to a third survey. This is the reason why I chose, not worry about that too much. But what I can do is I can get into the outputs. I can get into a few things. I can test a few theories and test it slowly. And I think that's what I'm going to do tonight. Is I'm going to test it slowly, see how it works under different situations, and go from there. Maybe I should at least start going into the data, or the old data files, which I do have online still. I think I might do that. Just to take a look at how it was, because I do want to be as much as backwards compatible as I can. Now I think I do have that data still in here. Actually, I put it in. Not mistaken. So we do have RTS beta. I see that's an old program too. That's one of the original programs. I don't see. Oh, I see a waybill. that's it. Well, maybe it is. But how old is it? That's 2013 as well. That's a real old. I don't think I have another. I don't think I have another on here. I've got RTS2, which I probably, yeah, I just got the survey on there. So let me go into. I'm going to take a look on my box account. See if I can pull up the latest. Actually, forget. I'm not going to sign in. I'm going to go with the shared right from our site. So if you guys are ever looking for the software, well, it's up here too. Go to RTS software, where you can go through and you can click right on software. Now, mind you, this is version 1. You've got the latest. So here's the latest files right here. Let me take a look at the blocks first. So this was last updated here. There's an RTS token back on August 22nd of 2016. So last summer, Ski gave us the last program release for RTS. Oh, sorry, December 12th. No. Sorry, that's the latest beta file I've heard. So this is going to change. There's some A-line files. There's all kinds of stuff. But let me yeah, see, I started doing Boston. But anyways, let me go into I'll start with the blocks. See what it looks like. I don't like how it. I don't like how it the way it downloads the CSVs. I'm gonna go ahead and download them. Looks like I had a one in there not too long. Well, I certainly was looking at it. Yeah, no. Folder. Date modify. Go with names. August 13th files. Or that's today. Like it's the same one. I'm almost certain of it, but take a look at it anyways. So it starts off with the way it did it before was it named that. I think everything should be backwards compatible here. So that's a good sign. And because we're into a different section now. Hold on a second. I don't see. Hold on, there's Selkirk. Selkirk in there. Have a northbound Selkirk. I'll have to try that. and try some output tests on that. See how it goes. No guarantees on that. So the way the file works, and I'll have to remember the structure myself. I don't have any descriptors, so forgive me. It's going to take a while, and I'm just going to go by my memory for the best that I recall. 11 is counting the number of blocks being used. First of all, 25. 25 is the number of defined or definitions that you're using. Each definition is like a record. So you start with Bakersfield, Maine 2. You have 4 lines for each definition. It used to be 3 until we started adding these ones. After the name of the track section that you're referring to, or the spawn section, is a number that's representing the number of track nodes that it can find, as well as the XYZ coordinates of the camera, and I believe it's the XY coordinates of the tile. The final number here is the route number. Everything else is the track section ID number, followed by the length in meters, followed by, I forget if that's a null index or what the hell that one is. It's a 0 and 1. Not the null index. What the hell do you call that thing? I'll find it. I know what it is. I can't think of the name of it right off the top of my head. So, having said that, this is totally compatible, backwards compatible. This file will be with RTS version 2. I don't see any reason why we need to change anything here, which is a good thing. That's not always going to change. The cool thing about this is it's got the names that match. You can name it to anything. You're not using A to Z. Where we're used to name A to Z for card types and all that other stuff, that's going to change. We're going to have more descriptive values now. So those are going to have to be changed. You're going to have pretty much unlimited. I wouldn't say unlimited. There's always going to be a limit that I'll have to keep on increasing as more card types become available, more of everything becomes available. But I'll make it generous enough for plenty of expansion. So it won't be an issue. And if it ever becomes an issue where I'm not in Run 8 anymore for whatever reason and Run 8 still goes on, I will make sure that I have the source code available to somebody so that they can modify it and make any alterations. But the idea with these files is to allow anybody to expand it. And yes, it's not user-friendly. I get it. It's not going to be user-friendly. I'm not spending the time going through. I may go through the user-friendliness at some point. But I believe in dealing with raw data that's in front of me. One thing Mikey was talking about relational databases. I'm very familiar with them. The problem with this is, in this case, you don't need a relational database so much. You could use one. If it got too extensive, it might be more beneficial. But for something very simple like this, or smaller, or even a little bit bigger, it's not necessary. You can read it as what they call a sequential file. So this will work fine. I'm going to take this file now, and I'm going to copy it over to RTS2 directory, so that we have access to that. So we're going to need the blocks. Just trying to think how far I want to go with. We've got a survey function in here right now. I have to clean up this routine first of all. So maybe I should get into that. And what I mean by clean up, I'm going to clean up a few things here. Let me just get into that. I do want to get, see, I want to get to the output, but I don't want to start writing too much code that I'm going to remove either. So if I can get away with just inputting the files as much as I can, and then hopefully maintaining what was the old code, because I'm going to have to look at the old code as well. So while I'm doing this, I want to maintain the variable names as much as possible as well. So let's take a look at this first of all, and I'm going to clean up the data first so that we're done with that. Oops, I've done that. That's RTS basic. Is that the name of the file? That ain't the name of the file. Okay, there it is right there. Alright. So we got our dims, we got our opens, we got that's that file. I want to be able to see what RTS1 looked like side by side. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open up. Hello, where are you? I saw you. I have to do. Really? Really? Wow. Okay. Alright. I'll do it again. I was trying to find it in my shortcut bar, but I couldn't find it, so okay. So get out of here. Your advertisements. Sick of advertisements. Speaking of advertisements, oh good. I got rid of my website. That's good. That's good. I can keep that for now. I don't need that. So one of the issues that I started running into with version 1 was that I was running into an issue of having variables. I couldn't reset, and I couldn't just start from fresh and run again without exiting the program. The reason why was because everything was so dirty. The code was so dirty that procedures weren't clearing themselves out. There was all kinds of craziness going on. It was spaghetti code. I want to avoid that this time around as much as possible. So I know this isn't the original code, but I'm going to go ahead and use it because most of it should be the same. Eventually I will find. See, what happened was this directory is gone. Unless is it here? No, that ain't it. I was hoping it was there, but there's the code. So I have a lot of dims. I think I have a lot of redims too. So there's a lot of stuff. So there's your dims, and I haven't got into the other stuff here. I've already got open statements, which that's going to change. So let me start off with that, and we will go with we'll start with the start RTS section, and main win 120.20. Do until command dollar. Whoops. So I have something called command dollar equals end. Let me check to see if I did have... I don't think I had to dimension it. Did I even have to declare it? No, I don't see anything that was declared. I got some of the arrays. Now this is where it gets interesting. You've got the key vehicles in there. I'm going to get into that. There's something called trailer there. I'll get into that in a little bit. I got something called header and trailer. I'm really going to have to get into... You know, actually, you know what? Let me go ahead and go into my downloads. Search my downloads for RTS. Ooh, really? Okay. Uh-oh. Not in my downloads. That's scary. Can you name it something else? Did I have another download directory? I'm wondering. I got terrains, I've got random maps. And Big Ass, I think, and just in case you're wondering, that is a map. I had something called Big Ass Map, Big Ass 2. That was for, just in wondering in case you thought I was into big asses or something. I was doing terrains for, oh, what do you call it? I want to say Railroad Tycoon, but that ain't it. Transport Fever. We were trying to do our own maps, so we were downloading all kinds of different terrains, and then we started creating some. So it looks as though... What the hell's RS? Oh, Rolling Stones. The game I was just playing. Okay. What the hell's Rolling Stones? Oh my god, I don't have much in here. Where did I throw it all? Download archive. It might be in there. Okay, that's a good sign. Trains for RTS, trains for RTS. Well, I got a February 1st, 2013 archive. What is this? I don't even know what that is. It looks like a, I don't know what that is. That looks like a train file. I saw something else that caught my eye, though. Something else that caught my eye. I have, hello, come on. I'm gonna have to go through my emails, unfortunately. LEP. I don't even know. I'm really bad at cleaning up all this stuff. It's bad. Okay, I had downloads. What did I do with it? Backway. Yes, something like that. Oh, I am in the download archive, you dork. Old downloads, what's that? Okay. I got a Selkirk Renate train calculator. Okay. Well, this is looking a little bit more potential. Alright. Oh! RTS version 2 train list. Say what? This is an old download. What is this? Oh, wait a minute. There it is right there. He's got the previous and he's got the latest. The question is, can I use the latest version? I think I can. Oh yeah. I only see blocks in there though. Oh, because he changed it. Oh, come on, you can't find just basic to open that damn thing? Here, open with. No, I can't even use that. Oh my god. Okay, old downloads, RTS, and roots. Yeah, can you handle that? Maybe? Yeah, I know what happened there. Alright. Sorry guys. I just gotta I need to get the latest. Okay, so there we go. I'm not worried about the token file, so that's good. That's okay. Let me close this up. Can I close it without exiting, or do I have to exit? I do it. It's fine. No, I don't want to go into the BNSF Mojave. I just want to get that copied over to no. Copied over to hello. No, I'm getting there. No, I'm getting there. That ain't it. RTS beta? Alright, I'll put it here. I actually deleted that file. I find that hard to believe. Okay. If you say so, let's see how it looks now. Sorry guys, but that's one thing about programming, you never know. This is important because the code changed quite a bit. So I should be able to go into, I don't want RTS2. I don't want that either. Open. Now I want to go into RTS beta. Yep. No, please enter read-to-mend statement. Yes. Okay, good. We want that. So everything looks relatively the same, except a lot was changed by Ski. He made some changes to the program that helped. As you can see, the main window's still in there. It's showing as the August 22, 2016 beta, which was the last stable version. So the commands are still in there. So what we can do in this case is now we start looking at the dimensions of what we want and have. This section 1A, start node 1, truck 1. That's really, I should have been a little bit more descriptive of what the hell I'm doing there, because what I did, now that I look at it, I'm the way I'm, see, I already got a reverse first survey reverse direction. See, now I'm into stuff where I could potentially be using the same variables, which is okay. I don't mind doing that, actually. I'd rather use the same variables if I remember to clear them out. So I'm starting to seed some of that. Dimensions are in there. They're fine. Now it says truck 1A, the start node 1 is actually first survey start node index. Got truck differentials. I got car differentials for the 25, which is not going to be, you know. So there's a lot there that's going to change, but you got to see what you see. Now we're getting into all kinds of different things. So you have the various. Do I have redimen? It says I do, but let me just take a look here. See, I don't have any search found for that. Let me just check the redimen statement too. I want to try to make this as clean as possible. So here's redimen. If I look at what the dimension, just so you know, for those who don't know what the hell that is, a dimension is you're setting up an array, which is basically the same variable number with so many particular, like you have track $2 and that'd be 0, then 1, then 2. So you're making an array of the same variable, except it has a record number to the variable. Redem or redimension for short. And I'll just read this here. So this redimensions an already dimensioned array and clears all elements to 0, or to empty the string in the case of the string arrays. This can be very useful for writing applications that have data sets of unknown size. If you dimension arrays that are extra large to make sure you can hold data but only have a small set of data, then all the space you reserved is wasted. This hurts performance because memory is set aside. Let me just do a test here for a second. Oh, I see. The redimensions an already dimensioned array and clears all elements to 0. I want to see that for a second and see how well that works. So first and foremost, I'm gonna do a little test here, okay? And we're gonna be running a few different tests here. So we're gonna go ahead and get into this main window here. Now it's we're not going to be using a tag function in this particular mid-dollar. Let's see, double check here. Okay, so this is the main part of the statement that deals with. This is going to avoid the survey command as well. I will put it in there, but for now, all I want to do is I'm starting RTS. I'm pasting this over. I'm going to get the tag out for. We're not using. I'm getting rid of the tag function for the time being. In fact, oh shit. Please enter your 3-letter. Okay, well that's okay. Okay. So now we're getting into the structure of the actual code here. GHIJK unlock. Wait a minute. So I got test and end. I'll have to decide if I want to use a first letter type thing. So far we're okay, but that could be like I got 3-letter commands. So tag's gone. Survey. So what happens is, so with generate waybills, what I'll do is I'll put this in the order that it was in. So you see it says go to start RTS. What that does is it goes back up to the top. In fact, I'll put that there. So in generate waybills, all I'm going to do is put the command go to start RTS. That's it. And generate survey. Again, I am going to put that go start of RTS. Whoops. Well, that's okay. That's interesting. Have they changed how far a tab goes? Oh, okay. Never mind. Okay. Do until command equals end. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. That ain't supposed to be there. Oh, that's in the that's in this clear screen. Hold on. I already put it in there. Did I leave it at the top or did I screw it up? Oh, there it is. I see it. Okay, good. I get it now. So, this is the survey now. I think I can go to that. Wow. I got code all over the damn place and I'm not too sure what I have it for. Okay, now I get it. I had that in there because I guess I put that into the welcome to RTS thing and then I left it out. Okay. Okay, where did it go? Oh, do I have an undo? I hope. Yes. Perfect. So I've got the loops. I've got everything else. Did I put that into the survey? Thought I did. Oh, it's hard to get the exact number of stuff I want to get in there, right? Okay. Ah, you bugger. There it is. Okay, so let me do Control X. Okay. Profile. Good enough. I would have preferred to have them all tab, but that's okay. That's all. This is all for neatness. It's not required. It's just good structure. Doesn't matter where the tabs are. If you read it up for down, you're inside various procedure loops, do loops. So you just follow from top to bottom, and then you're getting into your stuff. I don't know if I'm going to get to the output today. Honestly, there's a lot of cleanup that has to be done. We're getting there. I want to get there. like I said before, this is it's not as if this is a difficult task. It's really not. I kid you not. This is not difficult. I have no doubt in my mind it will be done. It is just the most mundane. I honestly, I wouldn't mind paying a chimpanzee to do this, because it's not that much to. Yes, I do have new stuff that's going in. Yes, I have ideas that I want to see. I would rather be the designer, come up with the plan and say, like, do the system analyst and basically make the flow charts and say, here we go, monkey, go program it. Because I feel like the monkey. So, I just feel like the monkey. It's, you know, until I start really seeing the fruits of my labor, it ain't gonna be very inspirational to me. Okay, so I got do, have a do, and then what? Oh, loop until. Okay, gotcha. That was in that do. Okay, loop until. Okay, we're good there. Go to start RTS. That's the end of that one. Yes. Yes, no. But I do want to end a few things in there. Now, where is my end statement, speaking of which? The end statement finishes the generation of the actual program. Oh, that's an end program. Okay. So that should be where all ending is taking place, not. Oh, I see. END PRG. Go to start RTS. So that loops on itself. Then we'll have end. So we got generate survey. We've got test script. Is that what I want to call it? How about just testing? I don't like the sound of that. I like testing better. So we got our testing, and then we got our end program. So so what you do there is we go testing, go to start RTS, and yeah, it's still going to be called RTS because it's RTS, still RTS. So that's the end of that procedure, and that one is going to be called end program print. Have a nice day. That is it for that. Go to start program. Is that what they called that? I see that. I see start X, but I didn't see start program. But anyways, I don't know what the hell that is. There must be something. There must be some old code in there. Alright. Let me just compile this and see if it works. There we go. So if I hit in ooh, it clears it. Repeats basically. If I hit gen, it doesn't do nothing. It just basically clears itself. Test gen does the same thing. If I type in a command it doesn't recognize, then it just repeats itself. Then if I hit end, it says have a nice day, and that's it. So that's the structure of the program. Now, what I want to do is in the test, I want to test the read to mend command. So testing is a good place where you can experiment with a lot of commands. You can experiment with a lot of things. We may have more than 1 or 2 testing. We could have testing 1, 2, 3. These are procedures that I usually will routinely put into a program to debug or test theories. So what I want to do right now is I'm going to go ahead in testing, and I'm going to dimension an array. This is just a test array. I'm going to call it, I'll call it test to 10, or maybe 100, doesn't matter. We'll have 100 test variables. Okay. Okay. I don't know if I need to clear the screen here, because when it goes to start RTS, it's going to. I need it to pause. Let me go with pause here. No, that's not a command because it went green. How is it? Wait. Okay, let me try that. I'll go with print. I forget what it's waiting for. TST. It is waiting. I don't know what it's waiting for. I gotta check what that command does now. Yeah, we want to terminate it. Okay. So now, just basic help, and then we type in test. No, not test, you idiot. I'm actually having fun tonight, so that's a good sign. Simple statement causes programs and wait for user input events. When the user interacts with a window or other control window, the program generates an event. Program executing resumes, and the event handler appropriate. What? Demonstrate the wait command in 3 places. No main window. Wait. Stop and wait for a menu item to be chosen. Open geometric whiteboard for graph. Now, see, I don't want to do graphics and crap. Pop up. Print geo. Clear straight column down. Color red. As square. Oh, it's I don't know what the hell that is. Well, that's great. I'm glad it encourages the wait command as opposed to an input. The problem is I don't know how the hell it. The simple statement causes program execution to stop and wait for user input events. I'm going to try that one more time, because if it doesn't go anywhere, what's it waiting for? See, I can't get out of it. What's wait end? Count to 10. Well, not 10. I don't get that. Doesn't really explain too much to me. Either I'm... I don't understand what it's waiting for. I still don't understand. So, despite the fact that it doesn't like doing it, it really doesn't tell me why the hell it has to. So, instead of that, wait a minute. I think get is another command. I'd rather, maybe I can use get. Sometimes get will work. That ain't it. That used to be it. Get is used after a random access file. Okay, that's not how it used to be. You used to be able to use a get to input just one key. Okay, let me try input one more time, but I want to input in key. That might work. Keyboot input can only be trapped in a graphics window or graphic boxes. Alright, when a key is pressed, the input is stored to a variable in key. Okay. Oh, I see. It's whatever the input key is. So it's not really an input. I'm not in the graphics window, so I don't. So instead of just making, I'm just going to input $X. So just like that, you can see that, and then that just goes. If you go and test, right, it'll say hit return to get back. You can actually type in a bunch of crap, and you get back to your menu. Okay? Are you? Oops. Well, I ended it by accident, so that's fine. Okay. So we wanted to do the testing. So we've already dimension test here. So test 1, or test 0, let's say, equals 5. Print test 0. Redem test 100 print test 0. So what I'm doing there is I'm testing the readdim statement to make sure it indeed clear the variables. This is very important. If I can clear up my mess from previous procedures, then I can reuse the variables again, save memory. There's a lot of places where I can use the same variables. Other places it may not be, you know, like when I have 2 surveys, it's not so relevant, but see what I mean. Oh, it doesn't like that. Why not? Type mismatch. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. What that means is because it's not test dollar, it is, I assigned it a string. So we'll try that again. That should be fine now. So we type in test. Perfect. What I was concerned about was if I redimensioned it, if I did the redim command, that it was going to redimension. In other words, the whole idea of the redimension is to change the dimensions. So if you have a variable that uses 100 slots, now you want to change it to 20, you can cut down a lot of the memory. But I find the best use for it personally because processing and memory is not a big deal with this. We're not talking about major we're not talking about major resources here, although I can, you know, I can clean up where I can. What that does is it says, okay, I'm just going to clear it right out. And that's what I use it for. So that's exactly. Let me just see that again. Press return. Yeah. Perfect. All right. All right. So that's good. So our testing worked. Now I'll maximize this for a moment. Blah blah blah. So, in order to, you've got this survey here, and we got stuff and stuff. I like to clean up any variable that I use, just in case it comes in play. Now it shouldn't. I've already closed off all the files, so I used handles 1 through 4, so that's taken care of. I don't have to worry about those file handles. They're closed. That means they're out of memory. I don't have to worry about that. The only thing I see here, I see stuff 1, stuff 2. I see junk. It really is junk. It means nothing. So in order to get that all cleared up, and I don't think I have to redimension anything because I don't think I used any dimensions. In fact, I did. Sorry. I did do some. Okay, where did I do it? Okay, am I losing it or what? Am I like totally losing something here or what? Because if I didn't know any better, I'd say I lost some of my code. Hold on a second here. What did I do? Okay, I generated the survey. Really? Why do I have, first survey? Like, I'm very concerned that I lost a lot of code suddenly. Something, I gotta try the survey command, but I got a bad feeling about something. I don't even see the survey command. Hold on a second. What did I do? Great survey. SUR. Okay. Got a bad feeling this ain't gonna work because I screwed something up. Why do I have it set as if it's going to erase? When like I'm very puzzled by that. I had it set in there, but I don't think I ever used it. And if I didn't use it, then I don't know why it's, maybe I was thinking of going that way and then I decided not to go that way. Didn't find it was necessary to store all that data. I just went ahead and inputted it, and I think that's what I did. Instead of putting it in variables, I just directly inputted it and said, okay, this is it and that's that, and you go here and you go there and everything's fine, and I think that's how I did it. Wow. Okay. Well, that saves a lot of I can get rid of those variables then. Wow. This is what happens when you only program once or twice a week and not really into it too much, and you try to find ways of getting around it. Oops, wrong one. See, I don't even know what directory I'm in. Yeah, it's in here somewhere. I don't know. Well, the survey is intact. I see everything that I need. So, what the hell was I doing? Like, I don't see anything of a loop that would use those, which would use those. Which is really cool, because then I can get right into the code. Just using stuff and junk. So anyways, what I do here just to kill these variables, and it's probably not really required. I don't have to even do a read to mend because I haven't had to bother. So to clear a variable out, and this is probably not even necessary. You got stuff $1 equals that, stuff $2. Oops, better type right. Helps if I type right. I think that's all the variables that I see. X, I can go back to 0 if I want to. if I want to. I don't have. Better. X is one of those variables that usually I'll wind up. It's just a good habit. So x equals 0. That cleans up that whole procedure. It is locked down, solid now. I don't have to worry about it again. Now, all this stuff, goodbye. Because as far as I can see, I don't need it. Hopefully I just didn't eliminate something, but let's try it. And if it crashes, I'm gonna regret it. So I'm gonna try every command here. Care about that. It goes through the survey okay. It runs it again. Runs it again. And the thing is, it clears it all up. Even though it doesn't really have to, because it goes ahead, it closes everything after it goes through the program to get back to that menu there. So test, and then I can hit test again, and then I can end. So that keeps things really clean. Alright, so what are we at? We're at 817. So far we're just cleaning up variables. Now what I want to start getting into is well, I've already determined as far as some of the procedures, or some of the data files I should say. How do we get it? There's a side of me that really wants to push the testing, but at the same side, I gotta go through the files and decide what's going to be good for RTS. In order, as far as I can tell, for me to do that is to go in and start downloading the data files. That isn't what I wanted to do. Where am I? Let me go back into box for. Oh, I was already there. Get back out there. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna re-download the waybill file. There's some Selkirk ones at the bottom. All right. So what we have here, and I can. What's cool about this is I'm able to go in and preview it and see what it is we are going to be using and what we're not going to be. Oh, I see. What is SEL doing with an S on it? Then I see I got some. I don't know what the hell I did. I got S's and I got E's and I got W's, but they're all mixed up. See, the West is okay. But watch what I do. Oh, I see the comments below. That's why. I missed that part. So the -1 is the indicator to the code that everything here ends. And then I have other stuff in here, which, you know, stuff. It says it's supposed to be SEW. There's some old, well, no, there's W's. Okay. So I kept the California stuff. I didn't really touch the Eastern stuff, and then I left the rest alone. The waybill file is going to change. I'm not ready to change it just yet. Since the waybill file is going to change, this is what's going, I can tell you right now, it's going to stay the same. Every field here is going to change or stay the same. With the exception that a lot of these are going to wind up having their local symbol added to it. And I'm probably going to have to put it into the test code. And the reason, or sorry, put it into the waybill file. And the reason why I'm going to do that is so that the tags actually are able to be shown by the switch list of the tag of the train. There's going to be a change into the code that's no longer going to put RTS in front. It's going to have the actual code of the train. And that's it. So RTS is going to be removed from the file name from now on, as well as the dash whatever the hell it used to be. That's going to be removed from the as well. Everything is going to be clean, just like it is in here. Here's where this is the one that's going to change. Is the actual pool. Now I haven't decided how I'm going to do it just yet. The way it used to work was there was an array of 26 characters, and I had 26 slots located for one character for each letter of the alphabet. I was going to go into numbers, then I basically never expanded to continue it any further. What I'm probably going to eventually do is I could do, there's a couple ways I can do it. This, I believe, will stay the same. Loads and empties should, unless I can find a reason to change that. For those of you who are watching me as well, and I appreciate those who stay, I'm going to try to keep these videos relatively short. Basically give myself a couple hours and that's it. So about 9 o'clock tonight, I'm going to call it. And I'll do another one. I'll probably do another one tomorrow if all goes well. I'm just not going to try to do these marathon long programming videos because it just makes me miserable. Yes, I get into stuff, but if I do this 3 times a week and if I can continue at that pace, just give myself 2 hours and then go play pinball, go do something else that's fun. It will keep me much more in spirits. So anyways, that's looking at that. But for those of you that appreciate, who are following me, let me know if there's something that you want to see, and I will post a message form, a forum post in the RTS Wikia, explaining exactly where I'm coming as far as this. So that's the waybill file. I'm not going to download that for now. I don't need it. The trains file, when I download this or open this up to see what we got here, I see well, I see the trains, I see the section, I see the starting spawn. These are all good so far. I see the minimum HPT, again, good. This used to be it either was BNSF, UP, or maybe CSX. I think I had CSX, yes. So, and there's some there that says can't find and all that other stuff. That's after a certain point. I think there was a certain point where I ended it. Yeah. Once it goes to XXX, just basically gives up or something like that. I'm going to change this so it's more descriptive, and it's going to relate to a what this field is actually is the power, and I'm going to create a file that allows you to specify a power setup. So, for example, if you are in A line, you're not going to have helpers, but you may have 4-engine trains. Well, there's going to be a setup for that. There'll be a descriptive name that you can use that will give you rules as to what kind of engines you're going to have, what kind of probability you're going to have for various engine types. It'll allow you to define up to, I don't know, I can make this, it's going to be a small file, but it's going to be unlimited potential. What I foresee doing, and just to let you know, this really helps for you guys that are tuning in and trying to figure out what new features are going into that I'm looking into getting into this. And I want to be backwards compatible, but in this case I can't. You'll have to go in, you'll have to change these. I may keep that for now as one letter. I don't see us getting beyond 26 letters anytime soon, and if we ever do, I'll just change the variable around and we'll be okay. This letter was also supposed to go in there to represent various times or different shifts. I'll have to speak. I gotta speak with Mike Rice, possibly tonight after 9 o'clock as well, and see if he was actually using this. He may have been. But we're going to talk a little bit more about the program. I don't know if he's watching me tonight. I told him I was doing a live stream till 9, but I know he's pretty busy, and I think football preseason started, so who knows if he's going to be around. He's big in watching his football and all that. So, but this, if that doesn't change, this definitely will. The minimum HPT, I see that staying the same. The ones that are 0 up here, I believe those were interchanges. So if it was a 0, it would just give you an interchange string. I think I'm going to keep that. I'm still going to have it so that that it will actually spawn no engines. So if it sees 0, it's going to ignore this anyways, and it's just going to go ahead and it's going to spawn an interchange string for you. So you'll be able to have the program, put it this way, when you're able to have it do this, you can have it basically, if you don't want, say for example you're in a big route like California, okay, and we know how big it is to handle, and we know it's not going to get any easier to handle for one player. So this will also go hand in hand with some of the automation ideas I have going. What'll happen is, for these locations, you'll be able to spawn on various tracks, yard tracks if you want, sets of cars. And this will all go to what looks like a train, but it'll be a blocked set of cars set up for, pump bowls or whatever the hell. Whatever it is, use your imagination. It can be anything. This was originally used for interchanges. I started using a concept called a virtual hump in Selkirk Mohawk when I decided I wanted to go beyond the 20 tracks. This is why I'm interested in Florida, to see what's going on with that, because despite the fact that I've been warned about the 100 tracks, I'm going to test it. And I've been warned, but I don't think I'm going to fill up those bowls as much as people think I'm going to fill them up. I'm using that as a distribution, as in being able to separate my trains into various strings. And yeah, there might be 100 strings, but it's not going to fill up the bowls. In fact, it'll highly unlikely fill up the bowls at all. It will simply put a few cars in each track, and that's the way I want it. But we'll see how it goes. And but anyways, that's that one. What do we got here? Was that the trains? Okay, the car types. See what this looks like. That's changing big time. This was the old restriction we had. What's going to happen is these 26 letters are going to change into a car type or a pool name. Just trying to think now. That might be a descriptor. I'm just trying to think if it's going to use... It may call the various... I have to see what the files look like. It tells you how many there are, and these are your differentials. These are so you know what the differentials are between the trucks and what the loaded weight is and all the other crap. So that's going to change. So when you look into car names, you can see it uses... that's gone. I have to really look into... In fact, now that I look at this, now that I see that, car names and car types might be merged. Let me see if I can do it. Yes. Wait a minute. Hold on. Gotta think about that one for a second. No, not quite. And there's the reason to that is the one to many, many to one argument. So I'll use here's the example. Grain hoppers and hoppers. The grain hopper in Run 8 uses, or at least the way we had it set up, used the Cargill, and it used, I believe, the the reddish brown hopper. It used the... I thought there was another one. It may have used the potash. Potash is another example too, because potash can use just more than potash cars. But anyways, there's kinds where it you know, it easily gets over to other ones. Like for example, coal. I don't know if these particular types, but that you could relate to all one, so they could be of the same family. Yeah, I would much rather... That's going to be tricky. I got to think about that one. To me, there's one to many, many to one relationships here, where a waybill could call up a certain type of car, but it could use... That certain type could be used on various cars. I think what'll happen is the files will stay. I have to change. Both of these are going to change. The blocks is the big one that we were using right now, and that's going to load up. I don't know why it loads up like that. Oh, it must be because it loses its mind because of the names of the fields. We already looked at that. I'm just going to add on to this. As far as I know, everything should be fine. No, nothing else is changing. This is just going to add. So we're going to go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and add onto that coming up. We're at 8:34 p.m. Eastern. I'm just seeing how much more. I'm just going through and seeing what I can set up. I don't think I'm going to set up much tonight. But I will start getting into the output, possibly. Just at least to set up and explain it a little bit. Routes... This should be a pretty straightforward one. Yes, this will stay the same. All of this has to point to... So there's a lot of backwards compatibility going on. But you will have to go in and change it to your new RTS2 directory. And the numbers have stayed the same. So, as far as I can tell so far, they have... let me Yeah, I'm almost certain of that. Wait a minute, hold on a second here. I'll have to look into that because I know there were some of the changes with some of needles being part of this and blah blah blah. I'll look into it, but when I check out California, I'll see. They may be the same route, or it might be a certain, like the content might be in a different directory, or the trains might be in something else, or whatever they've changed them. But yeah, it'll probably change. But I'll have an update for that. Tag files, as far as I know, this is what the tag file used to look like. This is so here's the thing about tagging, and for those of you that are, I'll probably put a forum post on this because I really need input on this one. As far as I know, I am not including this routine in version 2 of RTS. It's now obsolete. And the reason why it's obsolete is, well, it isn't really obsolete, but here's the thing. Tagging was an activity that was manual that admins had to do. It took a lot of work. It was more prototypical, however, because what often happened is, say for example, a loaded boxcar emptied at a local industry could then go into the yard as an empty and sit there in storage. Now, I think there's a way to... I don't know. No, there really isn't. You can still tag cars, but to have something call something, at some point I may re-look into this again. But it's gonna have to come at the request of the community. Personally, I would much rather have the cars go back. The problem is now you're losing out on your storage. That's something that's really gone with RTS2 or Run 8.2, because what happens is the car will come back and it will be emptied, but then it'll get sent off somewhere. And once it's sent off somewhere, it's fine. If it was to sit in a yard, it basically sits there and it'll never be called again, because then it's up to the user to decide when it does it. And the way that the closed system is with the waybill system, or not the waybill system, the industry system that Run 8.2 has set up, it's a closed system. It's supposed to be supplied by those supply trains that come out in all directions, which is absolutely, it's great for a short line, but for a major system like California, the way they're expanding, they've got crap coming out of the LA basin. They've got stuff coming out of from Mexico. They've got stuff coming out from Arizona beyond, cross from the east. They got stuff coming from the Pacific Northwest. Like say for example, and I always bring this one up, and this is a logistics thing that irked the hell out of me. As much as I love version 2 and I love Run 8, I love what these guys do, it just irked the hell out of me when I saw center beams coming in from LA, for example. You'd have a couple manifest trains set up. You'd have one coming from you'd have some coming from LA, you'd have some coming from Vancouver, Washington, where they should be coming from, or empties would be sent back out and they'd go back out. Empties, you could control where the empties were going by the way the industry emptied the tag. But what you couldn't control is how the loads were coming. So if you had an industry that received lumber, think of it this way, you basically had lumber loads coming from everywhere. It just doesn't happen. It works fine for boxcars and a few other the ones that you really can't see and tell, but that's what used to irk the hell out of me, because I'd watch the lumber coming in from various other trains. I'm like, Yeah, that just doesn't make sense. You know, lumber coming from LA? No, it ain't happening. Lumber coming from even out east or Arizona, it doesn't make sense. There's no forest out there. We're talking desert, or we're talking it ain't happening. It's all coming from Pacific Northwest and in Canada Northwest. That's where all the lumber is coming from. So it's going to be from U.S. or Canada uh, Northwest. So everything that comes in lumber in California is going to route its way down um, through Fresno, Arizona, or Fresno, California, either on UP or BNSF, depending upon where it's going. It'll use the railroad that it can for the most part uh, to make them as much money, and they'll stay on their own home roads as much as possible. Depends on who brokers the freight. So, but it stirred the hell out of me. So tags are something that is just kind of like a, it was a thing. You could send the empties whenever you wanted to send the empties, or you had room. It was kind of cool, actually. So in theory, you could still do it. So say for example, you could still have it so that it basically goes with the tag of Bakersfield or whatever, and then you can create a. I mean, tagging is a lot easier now in the new tagging system. You don't have to go and click on every car as you're going by. So in that sense, it's a little bit easier because then you can tag industries a lot easier. So maybe you guys let me know if you think that's something that's RTS2 should have. It isn't going to be a big deal to put it in. It's one of the easiest codes to do. All you're doing is basically it acts like the waybill file, except it's basically spinning out a report and a CSV. That's all. So no big deal. Can be used to query the what the the query program. Oh, I missed this. Oh, that program right there was gold. Ski created that. I miss Ski. I haven't seen him around lately. Guy's working 80 hours or whatever the hell he's still doing. Poor guy. Oh, maybe he's happy. I don't know. But anyways, that program is gold, and unfortunately, it doesn't work with version 2 of Run anymore because of the lockdown. So, yeah, that's why we still have the surveys. So, yeah, that's there you have it for the files. So the only other thing I can think of bringing over, I'm not even ready to bring in the waybills just yet. Trains, not really. I'm not even ready to bring the card type. In fact, now that I'm looking at it, the only one, and I've already brought it over, is the blocks. Maybe roots, although I can fake that for now, since I'm testing Selkirk, and I'll fake it. Yeah, I'll get into that eventually, but I really don't need that. So, okay. So I've seen what I need to see for that. Okay. Oh, which way do we want to go? 844. Well, let me see if I can spit some more code over. See what I can do. So we got our dimensions up there, everything else. Now we're looking at seeing what we can copy. Okay. So the headers and the trailers generally will work the same. They won't be cleared out. They're variables that are used everywhere. So this is where I'm gonna start dealing with the setup as far as the output. In order to set up the output, you have to have there are some dimensions in here. I can see the block ID, the tiles, the node. All those things are basically range, the frequency. Well, they're all various dimensions. I got like 10,000 waybills, destinations, all kinds of stuff that I got in there. So let me copy that over. Was it before my start? Yes, it should be. All right. So I already know that I'm redimensioning everything, so that's good. Okay. So let me finish off with this tonight, and I will very slowly get in. I haven't been able to do some testing tonight. Hopefully by tomorrow I'll be able to do some of that. So I'm going to finish it off with here. So what we're doing now is we're going into our Run 8 Trains folder. And I don't even think I need test. In fact, I can use survey if it's still around. Oh, I'm in Southern California. Did a test out in there? Really? Go back to Selkirk. There's survey. Okay, so 220. Okay. So what you're seeing here, unfortunately this is a very long and boring whatever the hell it's supposed to be here, so I'm gonna have to go here. In order to write it the way it actually is, let me explain to you what we're doing here. This is something that you're going to be repeating every time you write a file. I put it in an array because what happens is there's a header and a trailer before it gets into the data of the various engines in the cars. So there's a header of about 6 lines. There used to be 6 lines. Let me see if it still is. There's probably a 7th one now. Applied speed limit. I don't know if I have to go that far. It used to go to unit loader list, so I am going to add it. So we've already seen a difference in version 1 to 2, because now you're looking at, let me see here, yeah, it starts at 0, so it's 6. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going into 9 now. Actually, let me go that way. 6, 7, 8, 9. See what I'm doing? So there's actually 10 lines, 0 to 9. That's the start of the unit loader list. Now the spacing may have changed. We're gonna correct it right here if it is. I don't think the spacing's a deal. This is again 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know here. Hang on a second. Go to home. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 spaces to unit loader list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're good. Alright. So far, so good. The reason why I put that 9 is we now have more goodies. I don't know what the hell that is. Manually applied speed limit. Dispatch train direction. I don't know. Uh, train was AI. Does not matter. Those are all world variables. What happens is they use the same world variables in their train variables, so they just copy the same data over. Previous signal indication is probably a it tells the AI what's going on. The manual applied speed limit, I don't know, I guess, whatever. So nothing to worry about there. So let's not worry about 8765. We'll go with train ID. I I don't know. Sounds good. These are not irrelevant. They're irrelevant as far as I know. But we'll just call it 99996. Could I use 9? I guess. You'll see some name changes now. The free agent term has been dropped. So now free agent is just called train loader. And free agent train list is just called train list. The SCN loader XMLS XSI. Oh wait, now it's called, hang on. It's now called X. All right. XSD. Okay. Whoops. XSD. And this, yeah, this will definitely end it for tonight once I figure out what's going on here. Character 34. That is an ASCII code. ASCII is a general rule of codes. The reason why there's a plus character 34, that's a concatenation. And what that means is, you see the quote, if you're following along right here, that quote symbol is character 34. You can't go in and do quote quote, because what that ends up happening is it tells the program, okay, you've defined what this header 1 is, thank you, goodbye. Can't do that. So that's what that is. So equals, did I do that right? Oh, I see. So here's your concatenation. I saw the equals. I was like, wait, man, the equals doesn't make sense. I'm like, oh, okay, yes, it does, because the equals is there. So it equals, and this is a concatenation. So concatenation is just basically you're adding the quote inside the string, and then it continues. www to www3 org 2001 XML ski. I really don't know if this means jack, you know what. It may mean nothing, because it has instance in here, and then it changed, and now it's under a different XML, and now it's, I don't know. So schema plus character 34 plus XML NS. See, now that's XSI. So I think it just swapped them. Whatever. Equals quote HTTP www3 org 2001 XML ski. Oh, there's your instance right there. See? So instance has gone over here. It probably wouldn't have made a difference, but I don't know what the hell it means. It's a pain in the ass. I hate XML. I wish it was CSV, because then I could play around with it. Instead I have to parse the hell out of it. Mikey was, the other day, he was telling me, it was like, oh, I should use XML. I was like, don't use XML. Don't use that. You're wasting time. Do not use XML. I mean, I know some of the other programs use it, so that's probably why it's in it. So now I'm filling in the header files, and whoops. So all I'm doing, and the reason why they're numbered this way is because later, when you go to do the output, it is, where's my quote? I can't even read my things in here. Okay, so let me go ahead and whoops. I'll find the key. I can't find the keys because some crap. Can't find my keys. That's not what I meant. Keys on the keyboard, not my keys in the car. Okay. So see, train was AI. All this stuff right here, I can take. Let me just put it right here like this. Copy and paste, right? It's really that simple. Now I go in between the quote and find the V. There we go. See how it's looking? You're copying exactly what you're seeing here. That don't matter. This is all world file crap. But I gotta do one at a time because I have to do one code line at a time. So, but we're making there. Honestly, we made a lot tonight. It's 8:57. I'm gonna finish this thing off in a few minutes. Check my email and see if Mike is around. Mikey, Ski, yes. Not Mikey. Mike. I talked to Mikey last week, so I'm actually looking to talk to Mike this week. He was looking to talk to me before, but then he went on vacation or something. Probably wants to talk about California or something, or maybe some ideas with RTS. I don't know. We'll see. Always good for ideas. There we go. Okay, so that's the header. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to put in a comment here because I'm not done yet. Okay, that is a comment. And what that tells me, because it's right, there's 9 o'clock right now, so I gotta get going. I'm gonna end this like I promised. So I can close that up, and I can take this program and do a quick run. Oh, something happened. Okay, that's okay. That's good. That's good. You will also have to put a dim in, I think. For the above commands to work. I think that's how it happened. Let me just see that again. Yeah, actually trailer. So what's happening there is we copied this over, and I forget how much you can get away without using a dim statement. A dim statement is something that you have to put in once you have a variable, an array that goes beyond so many. I think it's 12. Once you get beyond that, if you start defining objects and you haven't dimensioned it, and you don't have a dim statement, like we had in the other program you're seeing all those dim statements, which we took out, it will give you errors like that. No big deal. You just have to put in a dimension statement right here. These variables are never going to change. They're always going to be the same. Whether you're they're always used for output. So you're just looking at what the file looks like, and this isn't the entire file, because what RTS2 is going to do, just like RTS1 did, it is going to fill in the blanks for all the units. So this is why we're into the unit loader section. It's going to start filling in everything in this area here. That'll be part of the output, and that's how you do it. You basically pull out all the data that you need to, do whatever you need to do, process the data, recreate the data, create a bunch of cars, create a bunch of random waybills, create a bunch of, know which sections of tracks you want to do, know what you want to put in. Some of the ideas that I'm going to get to that I barely touched on, and I'm going to make this very quick because I do want to go. For example, you know how Run 8 version 2 has the ability to select various engines. I like the idea of having foreign engines show up on some of my trains. The problem is I don't want them to be just as equally regular as everything else. So in other words, the way I used to do it in RTS version 1 was, I believe I made it like a 10% probability, and it was always that way. It never changed. You couldn't variable, but there are some trains that it's more frequent than others. So, but then you got some really whacked out stuff. Same goes with car types. There might be a certain type of car, like an FMC, that rarely shows up. So you'll be able to define it, and you will be able to define what cars you want to show up. Period. Somebody asked me that tonight in one of the forums. Yes, that was the same with version 1. You could always define what cars you wanted or didn't want by modifying the files. Version 2, not only will you be able to define them, but you'll also be able to define how rare they are. So if you have a certain car type that's rare, that's going to do it. And the other thing too, you'll be able to define it more than once. So just because you have the same file it calls up, you may have a different pool that will define the probability differently. So for example, a certain car that comes out of a certain name or road name that comes out of a certain area might be more probable coming out of, well, for trains, I'm getting confused with trains. Engines, it's always going to be defined by the train. And that BNSF UP selection, that's going to be where it defines the power setup. But when we're talking about the cars, that's going to be something that you get to define the probability of whatever. You will have complete control over the probability. RTS will do the rest. So it's going to give you total control over what you see, what you want to see, how bad you want to see it. And yes, folks, above all else, it will be true randomness. It's something I learned back in the early days of RTS1. I knew it was an issue once I simply saw the data and ran it enough times to see that the random number generation was an issue in RTS version 1, and I learned very quickly why that is. That same issue is giving issues to a lot of people who are running that, and a lot of people don't even notice or don't even care, to be quite honest. But if you really want to have, for example, if you run a lot of AI traffic and you really want to run the distributed, like what looks real to be realistic traffic, those that actually care about that, which people with RTS do, will notice that it isn't random. It just isn't random. It's totally screwed up. And the reason why it's totally screwed up is it's a very simple error. It can be fixed. But I don't expect Run 8 to fix it because most people aren't going to complain about it. And that is the random number generator does not work in Run 8 properly. It's not seeded. So I'm going to leave it with that. I'm going way over time when I said I was going to do. It's normal with me. So I'm just going to save it like that. But we see the random number generators by running the code, having it slow itself down a little bit, which takes a little bit of time, but it allows you to shuffle the deck a little bit more before you start calling random numbers. If you call random numbers in sequence, it then goes by the system clock, because this system clock here, now you're seeing seconds. The computer goes in milliseconds. So think of it this way. Let's just say 20 random numbers are being called a second. Well, you can see a pattern will form, especially because the code is running about, let's say the code's running this fast. It's running this fast. Boom, it hits it here. Boom, it hits it there. Boom, it hits it there. Boom, it hits it there. See what I'm saying? That's how the random number generator works. But it goes a lot faster now. It goes like however fast your CPU is, it's just gonna go blah, 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 blah. Or however fast the code is, it's just gonna go. It goes in milliseconds. But what ends up happening is, because the software is, if the lines of code are one after another, after another, after another, and it's pulling random numbers and just filling up an array, which is likely the case. It's probably filling up an array so that it knows ahead of time when the next train's going to be called and what direction it's going to be called. What ends up happening is you get into these patterns. So if all of a sudden you have 80 trains versus 100 trains, you may notice the difference. Now, I haven't done any analysis. I don't have time to do analysis of Run 8 systems. But I guarantee you, if people actually took that data and applied it to a spreadsheet, what trains were coming out at what times, and actually tracked it, how many trains you have in the system, how many, I guarantee you will see a pattern. I can flat out guarantee it. But for somebody to do that kind of work, it would take a lot of data. It would take a lot of boring stuff, but I guarantee you will see a pattern, and it's all related on the system clock. I saw it in RTS1. I fixed it in RTS1. It will be fixed as well in RTS2, and we will no longer have the broken randomness. I love you guys at Run 8, but a mess. And it drives you crazy, especially when you go into AI systems and you see, yeah, anyways. I love the program. Honestly, I do. I'm not trying to gripe on that, but I always say about this. It drives me nuts every time I see it. I'm just like, fix the damn thing, please. Please fix it. It's not that hard. Anyways, but don't worry, we'll fix it for RTS. If it's not fixed by Run 8 by before then, it doesn't matter anyways. We're going to be doing our own thing anyways by the looks of it. So, okay. Sorry to gripe and sorry to whine and complain, but I'm getting taken out and doing my own thing. You guys have a good night. I'll be back tomorrow sometime, and looks like we're making a little bit of headway here, so we'll get to output tomorrow, and then yeah, we should be able to do some test outputs on some of those new track sections, and I'll run a few test trains, see if we can spawn our first trains in RTS2 maybe by tomorrow night. That would be really cool. We're still a long ways to go though. This isn't anywhere near being complete. We're just starting. I have to go into the code. If I can make the breakthroughs and the tests are very successful, I can probably give you a good idea how far we are away from RTS2. If things go really good. So I'm hoping tomorrow is going to be a good test. And that's what that test string is for. We'll test it, we'll get the output, we'll see if we can spawn some trains, we'll see, hopefully. I got my doubts on a few things, so I think it's not going to go as smooth as I'm hoping, but we'll see. I'm willing to give it a try and see what happens, and we'll take it from there. Anyways, that's it. Sorry to ramble on, so see you guys. Have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow.